Peace and blessings, everybody. Maurice Carney here with Friends of the Congo. I have our comrade Samuel Yagase, live from the Congo. Samuel, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, Maurice. How you doing?
Good. Good to be on with you. I know it's late there, so thank you for taking the time to come and speak with us. We have a special exchange that we want to have with you today around the so-called 6-Day War, this battle that took place between two foreign militaries, Rwanda and Uganda, in the Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, specifically in what is today Chopo's province and the city of Kisangani, where from June 5th through the 10th, Rwandan and Ugandan soldiers battled each other in the city. And actually, the battles had started taking place months before that, but the 5th through the 10th were the main, the heaviest part of the battle in any case. According to reports from human rights institutions, hundreds of people were killed in that battle, these two foreign militaries, and I keep repeating that, on Congolese soil, and thousands were injured. And that's your hometown. That's where you live, Kisangani. So maybe you can just share with us a little bit about Kisangani itself. Tell us where Kisangani is and just basic information for people to understand the importance of that city. Some people may have been introduced to it through a novel called A Bend in the River by V.S. Naipaul that really popularized Kisangani for a number of people. Other people may be familiar with it as the home base of Patrice Lumumba, Congo's first democratically elected prime minister. Kisangani served as a base. So there are a number of points of entry for people. So maybe you can just share with folks about your beautiful city.
Yeah. Thank you, Maurice. Kisangani, first of all, is it used to be the third city of the Congo after Kinshasa, the capital city, and then the second one was Lubumbashi, and then Kisangani was the third one. But I know these days Goma is growing very fast and so on, but it's very, very historical city in the Congo. And then Kisangani is the symbol, really the symbol of unity in the Congo. First of all, we have 4 national languages, which is Lingala, Kikongo, Swahili, and Chiluba. And the country is divided in 2 parts, known by the eastern part and the western part. There is so people are speaking mostly Lingala, Kikongo, and a little bit Chiluba, and the eastern part people are speaking Swahili. But Kisangani is the most bilingual city in the Congo. It's a city where you can find people speaking Swahili at the same time Lingala. If you speak you speak Swahili, you are okay in Kisangani. If you speak Lingala, you feel yourself at home. That's Kisangani, and Kisangani is known as a city which welcomes everyone. Yeah. Everyone from the Congo, from any part of the Congo, from the east, the west, south, east, you can go to Kisangani to look for a job or what. You feel yourself at home. That's what I would like to mention about Kisangani. And then, as you said it, about Patrice Lumumba, um, the former prime minister of the Congo. When he was fleeing the Mobutu army and the Belgians and the Americans and those old people who were looking for him to arrest him, he was fleeing towards Kisangani because he knew that people were ready to die for him. Lumumba wasn't from Kisangani. He's not a native from Kisangani. He's from Batitela tribe in the Congo, which is found in Kasai province. It's not Kisangani. But the most followers of Lumumba was found in the Kisangani town. And they were ready to die for him anytime, even up to now. And there is some people, some followers from Kisangani, up to now, some elders, maybe of 80s or 90s now, they don't believe that Lumumba was dead. No. Up to now, they say, no, this man will come back one day. He can't die like that. Of course, which is not true, but it's just to show how they really had confidence in him. And people were ready to die for Lumumba. And they said, if Lumumba has got the chance to reach Kisangani, it would have been very, very difficult for Mobutu armies or even for Belgium to come and take him from Kisangani. Unfortunately for him, he was arrested before reaching Kisangani.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very meaningful and the symbol of unity of the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Yes. Now, your organization, GOVA, has been organizing for, I don't know, up to 3 decades now, right? In and around Kisangani, back when it was the old Oriental province, right?
Yeah.
And in addition to GOVA, you formed the Basanja Coalition. So it was out of that area that we see the formation of 2 critical frontline organizations that you're a part of, GOVA itself and the Basanja Coalition. So tell us a little bit about GOVA and the Basanja Coalition, which can rightfully claim their base in Kisangani, in the Chopo province, in the former Oriental province. So tell us a little bit about those organizations as we get into the conversation.
Okay, quickly about GOVA. In Isangi territory and around Kisangani town, we saw a lot of big organizations, international organizations coming in with what I can call a top down approaches. They came in with a lot of money. They came in with in what I can put in bracket specialists. They came in with logistics, material, and so on. That they didn't take time to listen to local people or to take into account the point of view of local people. And in 1992, as we were facing that way of working, we said, no, we need to change the model. We need to change the paradigm and put the local people at the center of everything. So we decided to create GOVA by putting all social categories together and discuss, and then say, okay, we need to start something. new using two principles. First of all, every initiative must come from the discussion from the community members. Two, we decided to give a limited status to foreign aid. It's very critical to go over. It doesn't mean that we don't rely or we don't need support from outside, but we can't allow the support from outside to replace us. And then we decide to start with the support of elders in the village, the elders, the youth, and everyone apart from women. I have to be honest on that. So
women were excluded.
They were excluded. They were not allowed to attend any meeting because the traditional leader decides so. They said, okay, we are ready to follow everything to work, but we need our wives to stay at home. So it took us like three years from 1992 to 1995 to have women included, because the community decided to support the students, the community students at the Kisangani University, by giving 10 kilos per household, 10 kilos of rice. And then they said, okay, how can we succeed in that project, giving rice to students at university, without the real involvement of women, because they are the ones who are controlling the crops.
Well, so Samuel, let me understand this. The community was supporting the students from the community who were going to the university, and the women who were growing the rice was providing them with the students with 10 kilos of rice while they were at university.
The community decided to give by each household to give 10 kilos of rice and put it together, sent to Kisangani University for the student.
Okay.
And then everyone was afraid of women. They said, we need that project to succeed. Unfortunately, women are not part of the discussion when they are the ones who are controlling the crops. So we said, okay, instead of condemning women, how can't you allow us to go and meet them and discuss? So
these are, when you say us, so these are the young people who formed GOVA, right? We're saying to the elders, how can we include women? You're appealing to them to include women.
Exactly. They say, okay, we can't condemn women about the rights issue. Please give us the permission to go and meet them, discuss with them. And then they told us, they said, okay, we allow, that's what they said. We allow you to go and meet women. Please tell them that traditional leaders need this project to succeed. The project of supporting young people at the Kisangani University. We need that project. Yeah, exactly. And then I went there. We met them with the other colleagues. We met the women leaders. They told us, no problem about supporting our children at university, but why are you discussing very important issues at the community level without our involvement? Now we can see that you don't need us, but you need our rice, and you know that we are controlling the crops. So go back to the elders, tell them that we must be part of the discussion. We agree, and we are going to support the project. We're going to give the rights to our students, but we need to be part of the discussion. So when we went back to the elders, they say, oh, no problem, as they have succeeded, as they have decided to support us, we need to include them. And then in 1995,
Mm-hmm.
women were allowed to be part of the discussion in the village. And to me, I'm preparing one book about our experience. It
Mm-hmm.
was like, sometimes we are doing bad things. They say, okay, it's a gender issue. The donor has decided we need to have to have wives in the team and so on. Sometimes it's in contrary of the local customs.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have do have we to okay? Can I say are you going to respect the donors or
Mm-hmm.
to take into account the local realities?
Mm-hmm.
It's very important. Sometimes we are in a hurry to create things or to make differences, and we
Mm-hmm.
take decisions from the Kinshasa, from New York or Paris, which is
Mm-hmm.
on the contrary of the realities. So that experience from Gova tells us that we need to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
We need to respect local customs and to be
Mm-hmm.
patient, really patient. People are ready to change, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't make them change any by using any methods.
Yeah, you cannot
This one
impose
is
change on them or
don't
impose
impose.
things.
You can't.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bring millions or even billions of US dollars. But if you don't take time to respect local people, respect the local traditions,
Mm-hmm.
customs, even to hear from local people, you are not going to succeed because success doesn't come from money.
Mm-hmm.
Success comes from the way you are doing things.
Right.
And
Right.
it's very important.
No, those are important
Yeah,
lessons. We're not lost around. It's not lost on us around the dates. Formation of Goma in 1992. This is 8 years before the Six Day War. I mean, it's formation of Gova, right?
yeah,
1992. This is eight
yeah,
years before the Six Day War. Within a
exactly,
3 year
exactly.
period, you work with the local community and the chiefs to include women. Right, so inclusion was a fundamental part of the development of Gova. Now, by the time you get to 2000, the organization is 8 years old. Gova, you're building. They're in the Oriental Province, and you mentioned Isangi District, Isangi Centre. Uh, Tell us a little bit about Isangi itself and that surrounding area. Uh, what the significance of it in terms of the rainforest, in terms of scientific research that's being done there. This is all before the Six Day War in 2000. Tell us a little bit about Isangi and uh,
Yeah,
and what's taking place there.
the Isangi territory is very critical, not only for the Chap province,
Mhm.
but even for the Congo, even for the Central Africa Republic,
Region,
the region.
right?
Why?
And
Because
the Congo Basin overall, right?
exactly. Isangi is really in the middle of the Congo Basin. That's all.
Hmm.
That's very
Hmm.
important. And then near Isangi, 25 kilometers from Isangi, you can find the biggest agricultural center of the Congo. And
Hmm.
it used to be the biggest agricultural center of um, Africa in the south of Sahara.
Hmm.
We know that the way the Congo is being managed, we have lost many things, and now Ibadan in Nigeria is the best, or even
Hmm.
in Ivory Coast.
Hmm.
So it's a very important, and the agricultural center is located in Yangambi, and the Yangambi is
Yangambi.
found exactly is found in the Isangi territory.
Hmm.
So we have
Tell us a little
decided
bit
to.
about Yangambi. Tell us a little bit about Yangambi, so people who never heard the name before, not familiar, like what is this research center? that's found in the heart of the Congo rainforest. What's that all about?
Yeah, yeah, that's the biggest research center, agricultural research center, since the colonial time, since
Hmm.
the Belgians were in the Congo. And if you visit Yangambi, I think it's
Hmm.
it's a beautiful place. It's one of I think what the Belgium did in Yangambi in terms of building the agricultural center, you can't find it in Kisangani. You can't find it in Kinshasa or in Goma or Lubumbashi. So it was really, really the center of supporting all agricultural activities, not only in the Congo,
Hmm.
but in Central Africa or even in all Africa, the southern part of Sahara. I know people
Yeah.
were coming from Cameroon, they were coming from Rwanda, Central African Republic, Gabon, Congo, Brazzaville to study in Yangambi, to study agriculture in Yangambi.
So it's an
Um,
agricultural scientific center in the heart of the
exactly,
Congo rainforest.
exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And also, not only for the agricultural center, but also, you know, it's the education, the environmental education is taking place in Yangambi to
Hmm.
protect the rainforest. When you are in Yangambi, you can see what they call the virgin forest. If not,
Hmm.
remember we are in equatorial region and it's
Hmm.
very hot. But even at midday or 1 p.m., 2 p.m., you enter the Yangambi forest. It's cool.
Cool.
It's
Right.
really cool anytime because of the
Mm.
presence of trees and yeah, trees, the real forest, and it was not allowed for people to cut trees or to make farms or things like that. So it's
So
a
just
very,
to
very
let people know, Congo, the country, the Democratic Republic of Congo, straddles the equator. Like part of it is above the equator, part of it is below. What that means is like 365 days of the year, you're getting the direct rays of the sun, right? It's coming right down. You know, it's not like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying that the rainforest functions as a natural cooling system right in the heart, right on the
Exactly.
equator. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks to the Ecuador, and it's amazing. Like when we are talking about the Congo River,
Hmm.
so the water which flows to Atlantic Ocean, it's all the time the same
Mm.
quantity all the time, from
Mm.
January to December, all the time. It doesn't increase because of that position, of the equator position on the Congo. In the northern part, if it's a rain season, in the
Hmm.
south part is the dry
Dry.
season.
Hmm.
Yeah. So if you find dry season in the north, in the
Hmm.
south it's the rain season.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
it gives balance. And the all rivers, the tributaries of the Congo,
Hmm.
if the northern part you find it's the dry season and the water comes from the south. If in the
Mm.
south water is decrease, you get water from the north. So
So the
Congo
main
is
is
giving
continually being fed.
exactly,
Mm.
exactly. Yeah, that is very, very important and it's very critical. And about the Congo, I would like to mention one important aspect.
Mhm.
Of course, they are telling people that the Amazonia forest is the biggest in the world. It helps our planet to maintain itself.
Mhm.
It's true, maybe in some extent. But the most important forest and the area to protect, to maintain our planet is the Congo. In terms of okay, it's the second in terms of the what I can say, the land,
the size
the size of the land, exactly. The biggest is in Latin America, Amazonia. In the size, Congo is the second. But in terms of, because of the presence of the peatland in the Congo that you can't find in Amazonia, the Congo rainforest is the best and is the first for the, I can say that's the first lung of our planet,
right?
Because of the presence of the peatland, because the peatlands captures a lot of dioxide of carbon.
Right.
And that one you can't find in Amazonia. So Congo and the Congo rainforest basin is very, very critical. And Congo, as Congo Democratic Republic of the Congo, as a country, has itself 62% of the forest of the Congo basin,
the Congo
rainforest.
basin.
Yeah.
No, thanks for that, Samuel. We're just for people who may just be joining us. We're speaking with Samuel Yagasi. We're focusing today on the 6-Day War, which took place in the city of Kisangani from January 5th to January 10th, 2000. Samuel is a founder of GOVA. GOVA is based there in Kisangani and the surrounding region. Was founded in 1992, 8 years before the battle between Rwandan soldiers and Ugandan soldiers in Kisangani. And he's sharing with us the geographic landscape of Kisangani, Isangi district, the Chopo province, the old Oriental province, that part of the Congo, to give people a lay of the land. Samuel, you're talking about the rivers in Kisangani. Like 3 rivers meet, right? It's Trois Rivières in Kisangani, right?
3 rivers. Yeah. You have the Congo River, which is the biggest. You have Chopo province as a Chopo River, where you can find the Kisangani Dam, which gives the electricity. But now it doesn't function properly. And you have Lindi. 3 rivers in Kisangani. Yeah, Congo River, Chopo River, and the Lindi River.
Yeah, so it's a city of 3 rivers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the meaning of Kisangani. Kisangani means a piece of land between 2 rivers. Because in the middle you have the eastern part, you have the Congo River. In the middle you have a Chopo River, and the other side is Lind River. So Lind River can join Chopo River, and both together they flow to the Congo River.
To the Congo River.
Kisangani town is exactly between Congo River and Chopo River. That's the meaning of Kisangani. Kisanga, it's like it's Lingala, it's Swahili, which means the island. Kisangani is like an island that's between 2 rivers. 2 rivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for breaking that down. And let's stay on the river a little bit, right? Because one of your
no problem.
one of your home comrades, let's call him, Diodo Amadi. He produced this remarkable film entitled "Downstream to Kinshasa," right? But before we get to the film, downstream to Kinshasa has a significance, right? As it relates to the connection between Kisangani, right, and
Yeah.
Kinshasa. Explain to us a little bit why that is so important, Kisangani and
Yeah,
Kinshasa.
it's very, very important because between Kisangani and Kinshasa, as the Congo River, as
Hmm.
the maritime way, it's
Hmm.
the most navigable, the longest navigable part of the Congo.
Wait, so
And it's about,
the longest navigable part of the Congo is between
yes, it's
Kinshasa, right,
Kisangani,
in the west, and
Kisangani,
Kisangani.
and Kisangani.
I
And
see.
it's more than 1,700 kilometers.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think 1,725, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
And
Hmm.
the other importance of Kisangani, um, the history of the Congo, the recent history of the Congo, when I look at all those rebels groups,
Hmm.
they can come from Goma, Bukavu, Kintu, Bunia, and so on. When they haven't, if they haven't taken Kisangani yet, it's
Hmm.
not serious. It's not serious.
Mm.
Because, yeah, everyone knows that.
Hmm.
So if Kisangani is not fallen yet, so then you are still rebels.
Mm.
But if Kisangani is seized,
Hmm.
so Kinshasa can understand that now I can be
These things are
attacked
serious.
by rivers anytime.
Right. And you talk about being the most navigable because that's where you have, people transiting from if they go from Kinshasa to Kisangani, you have products, you have materials, like you have these large barges that are going up and down the river, right? Tell us a little bit about that, about that river traffic between Kinshasa and Kisangani.
Yeah, I think let me tell you one thing very important. I think you it will be very important for you to know that the road infrastructure in the Congo is
Hmm.
dead.
Yeah.
It's
So there's
completely dead.
there's no road between
There
Kisangani
is
and
not.
Kinshasa.
No, you can't go by road. It's totally impossible.
Possible.
Totally.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the best way is using the Congo River.
Hmm.
That's why it's very, very crucial, very important to local people. Very, very
Hmm.
important. The traffic is very high. So people are using small canoes, they are using um, small boats, big boats, and so on.
Hmm.
During Mobutu's time, we used to have like per week, like two
Hmm.
big boats coming from Kinshasa.
Mm.
Unfortunately, nowadays, all those boats are broken.
Mm.
So,
How
but
long? How
people are
long does it
using
take? How long does it take, Samuel, to take a boat up from Kinshasa to Kisangani? How much time is that?
from Kisangani to Kinshasa, which is downstream. It takes
Hmm.
a week. A
Okay.
week.
And
Yeah. When
upstream,
we have on the upstream, the contrary from Kinshasa to Kisangani, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because the Congo River water is it's very strong.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
so it's half the time to go down than it takes to come up. It's coming up from Kinshasa to
exactly,
Kisangani, 2 weeks,
exactly. But
going down.
when you have a very good engines, Maurice, when you have a
Okay.
very good engine for your boat,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, it takes 1 week. It takes a week downstream and upstream 2 weeks.
Yeah. So now that speaks to the significance of Diodo's
But
film.
but
He says
but
downstream to Kinshasa, right? That's the title of his film.
exact, yeah. Kinshasa toward Kinshasa is downstream.
Stream, right? So that
But
just in the title itself, you start to get a picture of what's to come.
Yeah, but there are some people who are spending like the whole month
Mm,
downstream or upstream, uh,
mm,
according to the quality of the engine they are using.
mm, mm.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah,
I see.
yeah. But without the Congo River, there is no life.
Mm,
I would like to mention it.
mm,
Without the Congo River, there is no life. And
mm,
not only because Congo River is giving is feeding people in terms
mm-hmm,
of in terms of getting fish,
mm-hmm,
but that's the that's the best way of moving. That's the best way
transportation.
of trading. That's
Mm,
the best way of um, people like agriculture
mm-hmm,
using doing agriculture to trade with people who are breeding. You know, you, people are they are to get they are the Kong River is helping them to access what they want.
mm-hmm,
They can move. They don't need the quality of the road or what. As there is no road, there is no bridges, and so on.
mm-hmm,
The infrastructure is almost totally down.
mm. Yeah, yeah. So the river is the lifeblood. Now,
Yeah,
Samuel,
yeah,
you've laid out, the geography. You've laid out the landscape. You've laid out, social interaction, trade, whole bit. Uh, Now we get to 2000. Tell us a little bit about this 6 Day War in 2000, from a personal perspective, because you and your family were in the midst of the war, uh, where you have two foreign countries, and this is really important. I'm going to repeat it. You had It'd be as if like Mexico and Canada, you know, came into Chicago and they were
wow,
fighting each other out in the city of Chicago, right? This is really what we're talking about. Where Rwanda
yeah,
send its soldiers, Uganda send its soldiers,
exactly.
and they had Kisangani under siege. People couldn't get in, couldn't get out. Just bombardment for 6 days, right? So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's it was too sad.
Hmm.
And even today, I was thinking of what happened. Um, we have never heard about that. Never
Hmm.
seen, never heard.
Hmm.
Two independent countries like Rwanda and Uganda decide because of greedy, because of the control of the resource, because of the
Hmm.
diamond and the gold in Kisangani, they decide to kill savagely.
Hmm.
Yeah, to fight not on their border,
Hmm.
but in another independent country
Hmm.
because they felt themselves that they have the support of some Western powers. We have to tell
Hmm.
them we can't. What I'm saying is it to falsify the history?
Hmm.
We need, we need to tell the real story. And
Hmm.
people don't ask why did they decide to fight in Kisangani? Why?
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, myself, I was in Uganda. I
Hmm.
mean, 2 weeks before that war,
Hmm.
and I met some. I don't know. Maybe um, they're working with international NGOs in Kampala City. They were British, they were Americans, and they decided to talk to me. And they were
Hmm.
interested to talk to me as someone coming from the Congo. And as Congolese, I can remember the question I have been asked. Samuel, are people behind Rwanda or behind Uganda? Because they were there, yeah, before before that war.
Right.
What's your point of view? Do people in Kisangani are behind Rwanda or behind Uganda? It was a little bit tricky, and I decided to tell them the truth, looking at their eyes and tell them the truth. And the truth was they were neither behind Rwanda nor behind Uganda. Because people understand very well that your countries, as you are here as Americans and the British, it's your countries who are, behind those two foreign countries. So
Yeah.
I think you need to understand that people know everything about your game. You are using Uganda, you are using Rwanda. Maybe later on, you are going to use the Congo against the Rwanda and the Rwanda. And they kept quiet. They didn't answer back. Yeah. So it was very, very sad. I wanted to insist on one very important aspect. They fought because they wanted to take control of the Kisangani town, first of all, and then the suburb, which were producing at that time a lot of diamond and gold. So they wanted to control. Rwanda was to have Kisangani under its control. Uganda, the same desire. That's
Samuel,
why.
let me stop there because this is really important. Because even to this day, the rationale that both countries use for being in the Congo is that they're in pursuit of rebel groups that are a threat to their national security. Right? Rwanda, talks incessantly about the FDLR, Democratic Forces for the Liberation of Rwanda, and Uganda talks about the ADF, the Allied Democratic Forces. So when they were in Kisangani, they weren't going after the FDLR. They weren't going after ADF, or they were going after Congo's resources. Right?
Let me tell you one thing. Let me be clear about that. Because the rationale is very false. The FDLR means strategic minerals. Yeah. FDLR means gold, diamond, coltan, and so on. That's the meaning of FDLR. So where are they? Can you ask to Rwandese government or Ugandan government to tell us exactly in which village can you find FDLR in the Congo? They can't tell you. They're going to tell you they are in the forest. So who is producing the FDLR? It's they're using it as an excuse to create chaos in the Congo. That's the reality. They're using that excuse to create chaos, to kill, to rape women, and to exploit illegally the Congo minerals. That's one everyone knows. Everyone knows. When you take the Congo map and identify where rebels are or Rwandese army is or Ugandan army is, it's exactly where you can find strategic mines, where you can find the biggest mines. So they can say, okay, that one is for the international community. Oh, we are going to fight our rebels in the. So they have to wait for their rebels at the border. What are they doing deeper in the Congo? 1,000 kilometers from the border, which is not true. And unfortunately, the lies has taken so long. That the lies has taken so long, and the people accept it like that because those two countries are behind them. They are baked. They are being baked by superpowers. That's the reality. By Western powers. That's the reality. Look, the European Union has signed contract with Rwanda to give to produce strategic minerals to the European Union. The minerals you can't find in Rwanda. So those powers are part of the game. They are responsible of the chaos in the Congo. We need to tell the truth at least. It's tricky. It's a game. Unfortunately, you can find it in the books, history books, and so on, which is not true. And that's why we really need to tell them by many ways, to tell the truth, to write books, to tell people what exactly happened in Kisangani.
So that's where you, and that's where
unfortunately, lies is another. It's like it's using like a gun. It's being used like a gun. Lies.
Weapon. Yeah.
It's a weapon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's so important. Like Diodo's film, Downstream to Kinshasa, where he followed some of the victims of the 6-Day War. One of them is a close comrade of yours, Didas Kitenge of Lotus.
Dismas.
I'm sorry, Dismas Kitenge of
Yeah.
Lotus, where 25 years on, they are pursuing justice. They got on the barge to go downstream to Kinshasa to confront the Congolese elite about the need for justice for the crimes that have been committed against them, including that of the 6-Day War. So tell us a little bit about the kind of work, the continual pursuit on the part of people in Kisangani, to get justice for the crimes that have been committed against them.
Yeah, I think there are many organizations who have tried to, first of all, to refuse to cross hands. So even if we don't have, I'm in brackets, superpowers behind us, backing us, we need to fight back to deliver the truth, to deliver justice, even after a century. Yeah, even after a century. That's why we have to tell the children, the students, and the youth the truth of what happened.
Yeah.
I can see my son. I have three children. One boy who is 25 years old now. My wife fled in the bush when he was baby during the 6-Day wars.
So your wife had to, because of the 6-Day War, had to flee into the bush with your now 25-year-old son.
Exactly. He spent like 4 days in the bush. Yeah, and in the bush, she met Ugandan armies At least
Mm.
some people, they were very kind and they decided to help them.
Mm.
Yeah, in our effort with the Congolese government, but we have never understood one fact. So they accused Ugandan, but not Rwanda
Mm-hmm.
during the Kabila reign.
Mm-hmm.
It seems that Rwanda didn't do anything bad. It's only
Right.
Uganda, which is not true.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not true.
Yeah. In fact,
So
you're saying that in fact in 2005, right, the
yeah,
International Court of Justice ruled that Uganda or owes Congo reparations for the war crimes, crimes against humanity, crimes of plunder in the Congo. Now, the Congolese government, now, what they're saying is that part of the reason why Rwanda was not a part of that International Court of Justice pursuit is that Rwanda is not party to the International Court of Justice, right? So it's not under the
yeah,
jurisdiction. So they said they couldn't bring Rwanda to to the table for the
yeah,
crimes.
yeah, yeah. I think Maurice. Once again, let us tell the truth. I think our world.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm sorry to say that it's in the end of the bandits and the criminals at all levels. It's not the
Mm,
reason. It's not the reason because Rwanda that is not part of that court. But
mm,
there is many ways of putting pressures on Rwanda.
mm,
There is
mm,
many ways of putting pressure on Rwanda. What do you think if any countries which is not member of the court decides to kill people to do to make people suffering? Are we going to just to look at that country like that because he's
mm,
not part of the court? Where is our humanity?
mm,
Where is justice? Where is democracy? Where are all those so-called values?
mm,
Are we ready to accept and see people suffering for about 3 decades now? People being killed almost every day, women being raped, even pounding. Even can you imagine to pound a baby in the motor?
mm, mm.
No, I think.
Well,
Okay,
Samuel, Rwanda and Kagame is often referred to in Washington as the friendly tyrant. That means he's on the U.S. side. So a friendly tyrant means you get a pass. Means you can commit war crimes, crimes against humanity, or even according to the UN, possible genocide. And once you get the diplomatic and political cover because you're a friendly tyrant, then you don't have to account. And I think that's one of the challenges, you know, uh, in the Congo, where there's lack of accountability, right? Lack of
okay.
justice, and you have
Yeah.
rampant impunity. Right now in Washington, we have women who are Congolese women leaders who are here, in part thanks to the Basanja Coalition, to Im- impose themselves in this deal that's taking place between these elites, between the elites in Kinshasa, the elites in Kigali, and the elites in Washington, which totally silenced, left out the masses of the people. So we have these Congolese women who are in Washington uh, making their voices heard, trying to impose themselves. And we encourage people to check us out throughout the week on our Instagram page in particular, uh, all the what is happening with the women, the people that they're meeting, the demands that they're making, their journey to actually get to Washington, as Washington is facilitating a peace deal that they call and a critical minerals deal with all including Rwanda and the DRC. So we're hoping to disrupt to the extent that one can the way things operate. Let's say. So I know you're a part of that Basanja coalition. Actually, before we get to the Basanja coalition, we don't have a lot of time left. Somebody had asked in the chat about the governor of Ituri being called to Kinshasa. Have you heard anything about that?
Yeah, I heard that. I would like to. I'm trying to follow it up and understand why. Yeah, maybe in 2 days or what. I'm in Kinshasa right now. I'm trying to get the right information. I'm on that. I'm working on that, and I'll be back to you.
Okay, so person
Yeah.
who asked we'll get back. But tell us about the Basanja coalition, right? And the founding of the Basanja coalition has particular significance in and around Kisangani in Isangi territory. So tell us that story as to how Basanja was initiated. What propelled the formation of Basanja, who's now supporting these women who have come to Washington to make their voices heard.
Yeah. Maurice. Yeah. I'm going to talk about Basanja coalition, but please allow me to speak quickly about the women who are in Washington, because it's very, very crucial to Congolese. And I would like to mention that most of Congolese, they don't believe in that contract between Uganda, Rwanda, Congo, and the United States. We know that the United States need the critical minerals, but the governance in the Congo now, I don't know if it's really the one to discuss these issues, because people have lost hope. People have lost hope. People have lost trust
in the current government led by President Tshisekedi.
Exactly. Yeah, you ask anybody from Kinshasa, Kisangani, Bukavu, everywhere, they don't trust. They say, okay, they are using our natural resources to maintain themselves in power when they are not serving the people. So if the United States, they go and sign that contract, which means that they are supporting that government against the people. So they are behind the suffering of the people. That's the reality. Yeah. So it's not a people's agreement. It's not a people treaty or no, it's not being done on behalf of the people. That's on the behalf of the corrupt elite. And it's a very, very important. I know the United States, they are behind their interests of any country in the world runs behind their interests. But I think we hope that the USA, we trust them that they're not going to sign any kind of contract with the Kinshasa government.
Well, they're supposed to do that. The word is here in Washington.
That's what I want. That's what I wanted. I'm fully supporting the
women.
The women, what they're doing in Washington. But I wanted to give you the point of view of the base of the people.
Right.
Yeah, we don't trust. We don't trust. It's not for the people.
I appreciate that. I'm sure people who are following us on social media, that's a big question that they've been asking. What's this deal between the Congo and and the United States? Do the people of the Congo support this deal? And they heard it from you that this is not a people's deal. This is a deal of the elite. I know it's late there. We're gonna wrap up. Thanks to your family for being patient with us. Just tell us quickly about uh, Basanja
Passenger.
and its founding and how that's even tied into Isangi, Yangambi, the rainforest. Uh, let's share with us a little bit about that.
Yeah, quickly, I would like first of all to, because people heard about Basanja, and what's the meaning of Basanja? First of all, yeah, it's not a French word or English word or Spanish
Mm,
word. It's an Topoke word, which
mm,
means the traditional way of protecting the forest, the river, and the biodiversity.
mhm,
Traditional ways. And why did we decide to to take that name, to use that word for our coalition? And what happened in 2022 in
mm,
Yangambi?
mm,
Remember that in 22 there was the big COP, the COP 27 in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt.
mhm.
And before that COP, the Congolese government and scientists coming from different part of the world, they met in Yangambi. Why did they meet? Why did they meet in Yangambi? Because of the presence of the big forest
Mm.
to be protected.
So you
So
say so
they
so
met
Samuel, you're saying that government officials, scientists from all over the world in 2022 came to Yangambi, which is right
exactly.
in your community, basically.
Yeah, within the community for I think 2 or 3 days.
Mm.
Do you know they didn't go to the Yangambi's hotels. So the the Congolese government brought a big boat which was used like a hotel in the Congo River.
Oh, so they
And
came.
they
They
said
came. So they came on the Congo River in a big boat.
yes, a very big boat like a hotel boat.
Hmm.
Yeah. So they didn't go to hotel in Yangambi or where people are. And they
But
said
so you're
it
saying
was
the proceedings took place on the boat?
yeah, but they were meeting somewhere. They were meeting out of the boat, but people were
Hmm.
sleeping in the boat.
On the boat. Okay, got you. Got you.
Yeah, yeah. And they said they decide themselves.
Hmm.
It's a scientific meeting, so only Congolese officials were invited and
Hmm.
scientists coming from different universities in the world.
Hmm.
Nobody from the community. Nobody.
Hmm.
Remember that we sent even our community journalists from the community radio to cover
Hmm.
the event. They say
Hmm.
no, 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 go back because it's a scientific meeting. There is no accreditation for you.
So
There is no
they
accreditation.
refused the local journalists to
They
they,
refuse the local journalists. They refuse the local people. They refuse the local community.
hmm.
So how can you pretend to protect the forest, the river, and the biodiversity without people living under trees? How? So it
Hmm.
was a very big mistake, and we were, as a local people, as indigenous people, we were seriously shocked.
Hmm.
And then we said, okay, we need to raise our voice. First
Hmm.
of all, from Kinshasa, we went
Hmm.
there, we met some ministries, and we told them courageously that what you did in Yangambi was not, if not a mistake, but it's a disaster.
Hmm.
Because after 3 days, everybody went back to Kinshasa and to different countries in the country. And then the forests were the forest was there in the hand of local people, but they weren't part of the discussion. It's a very big mistake. For us, we said, okay, we need to go to, after Kinshasa, we need to struggle and go to Egypt to the COP27.
Right, because the meeting in Yangambi was supposed to be a pre-COP meeting, right? Because COP was being...
It was a pre-COP meeting. Yangambi was a pre-COP meeting, and then, it was in September, Yangambi, and then Sharm el-Sheikh was in November. It was in November. So we went there to raise, to bring the local people voice and to understand and see how people are part of the discussion and so on. Unfortunately, in the Congo, they brought some traditional leaders, but they spent 2 weeks in Egypt without being without saying anything during 2 weeks. So and then we said, please let us start something new. Starting something new means putting local people at the center of everything.
Right.
And then we said, okay, our coalition, we are going to take the name of Basanja, which is the traditional way of protecting the environment.
Right. So Basanja is, go ahead.
Exactly. And we said, those people, they know a lot. I don't know better protector than local people. I don't know better protector than indigenous people. They know a lot. They have knowledge. They have true knowledge. We need to learn from them. Unfortunately, we say, okay, as people, they don't speak French, they don't speak English, they don't understand. English has nothing to do with knowledge. French has nothing to do with knowledge. So even we have our scientific at the local villages or the local communities. They know how to protect the rivers. They know how to protect the forest. They don't cut trees. They don't sell land as the government is doing. They don't sell. It's totally forbidden to sell land. But millions of acres are being, sold by big companies, bought by big companies, but sold by the government. So if we need to make critical change, we need to involve and put local people at the front line. And that's the meaning of Basanja and why we decided to create that coalition. To learn to raise the local voice and to use the traditional knowledge to protect the nature.
Thank you for that, Samuel. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, your generosity. I know it's late there. Basanja Coalition, as you say, a platform for rallying local communities in every corner of the Congo, the north, the south, the east, the west, whether it's in the urban areas in the west, or in the mining communities in the south, the rainforest in the north, or on the front lines of the conflict in the east. Basanja building movements with local, grounded in local experience, and producing knowledge for the coming out of the Congo. Basanja is producing films, a trilogy of films that you have coming out, writing books. Your book is going to be coming out soon. Mama Justine's book, she's a member of Justine Masika Mahimba of Synergie des Femmes, a member of the Basanja Coalition. She produced the book Women Resist War, then chapters and other books that are coming out, and magazine articles that are already out and more to come. So, Basanja Coalition, people always often ask, what are the people in the Congo doing? Well, if they go to basanja.org, they can see the films that are the knowledge production, the films, the books, the articles, the movement building that you're engaging in, the tours. Basanja's toured the United States and Canada. You just finished a tour of Europe, and now you've supported the women coming to Washington. So Basanja is very active inside and outside of the Congo in movement building and providing a platform for local voices to speak with each other, first and foremost, inside the Congo. And I think last we checked, Basanja, you reach an estimated 2 million people in the Congo and growing through a range of networks. So it's if people want to know what's happening on the ground in terms of movement building, they definitely can check in with Basanja, and they can come to Washington D.C. on Thursday. The women are going to be at the National Press Club in Washington D.C. at 1 p.m. Thank you, but their Quito National Press Club is at 14th Street and F Street in Washington D.C. To hear from local voices. Some of them representatives of Basanja Coalition. So Samuel, thank you so much. The pursuit of justice, not just around the 6-day war, but justice writ large throughout the Congo, is on. Basanja Coalition in the forefront of doing that. We encourage people to not only support the humanitarian work that the Basanja Coalition is doing, but also the movement building work that's being done. So thank you, Samuel. I really appreciate you being so generous with your time there in Kinshasa. And we encourage people, Quito, you can put Free Congo, freecongo.org. People want to support the Basanja Coalition, want to be a part of the movement, go to Free Congo, freecongo.org, and you immediately get action steps that you can take. So thanks again, Samuel. Much appreciated. And we'll be in communication.
Yeah, thank you, Maurice. Thank you for inviting us. Thank you for the interest on the Basanja work. We are struggling. We need to build strong movement using the youth and using the powerful, which is like the powerful tool we have, the community radios, to mobilize people, to mobilize the youth, to mobilize traditional leaders, and also to fight to improve the governance in this country. God has given us a lot, but we don't understand why the Congolese are very poor when they are sitting on thousands of billions of dollars. So we need to change the governance, which is very, very catastrophic.
Thank you, Samuel. And when we come, we're going to be talking about Pan-Africanism of the masses, and that part of your book
of course,
and organizing different. Next time, we'll set up a time to talk. Maybe around the Lumumba 100th anniversary would be a good 100th birthday anniversary would be a good time to talk about Basanja Coalition's Pan-Africanism of the masses. I know you'd be ready to jump into that. All right, thank you, Samuel. Have a good night.
Okay, thank you.